everyone, it's Annette and welcome back to Cotto Verde. Today we are doing the annual pruning of our Acer Griseum, which is this tree behind me here. It's a beautiful, beautiful Acer that has this lovely coppery peeling bark, and when the sun shines on it, it kind of looks like fire and it lights up and it's absolutely gorgeous. I'll try and link some pictures for you so you can see what that looks like. Now when I say it's an annual pruning, we're doing an annual pruning because this is an established Acer that we planted maybe 7 or 8 years ago, and it's grown considerably. We did plant it as quite a large bare root, but it's now large enough that we can do an annual pruning to lift the crown. And the reason that we want to lift the crown, which basically means exposing the bottom stems and just having a leaf canopy at the top, so we want to lift the leaf canopy so that it exposes these trunks that when the sun hits them, they just light up and shine. Now this Acer is planted in a bed of its own. It's a feature plant that we have here, and it gets sun from about midday onwards. So in the morning it's in full shade, and then as the sun comes around and throughout the afternoon it kind of just lights up. It's absolutely gorgeous. So it has lovely green leaves throughout the growing season, and then in the autumn it turns brilliant shades of orange and red. And as I said, the bark is this lovely peeling bark. It's there all year long, and so by lifting the leaf canopy it exposes all these trunks at the bottom, and then as you can see we've got a window behind it, so as we walk past the tree and the sun's shining on it, it just lights up. It's absolutely gorgeous. So that's why we've planted it here, and that's why we lift the leaf canopy each year. Now the way to do this is, first of all, you need to do it in the dormant season. If you don't do it in the dormant season, then what happens is the tree starts weeping and it becomes very unhappy, and I don't really know the botanical reasons why this happens. I guess the sap's rising, but it's just not advisable to prune an Acer in its growing season. So you prune them when they're dormant. So it's got tiny little buds at the moment and it's waking up. We'd probably normally do this in February, but we had some really cold weather, like -7 or 8, which is very unusual for us, and I didn't want to prune it whilst it was that cold. So we've left it till now, but I'm getting cracking with this today. And the other important thing to know about pruning Acers is that you only want to prune a maximum of a third each year. And as you can see, there are quite a lot of branches here. We're probably only going to take maybe 3 or 4 of the big branches off, maximum I'd say 4. Forgive me if we go for more than that, but you'll see what happens when we decide what we're pruning. But it's a considerable size, so we're okay to take 3 or 4 off because that's a lot less than a third of this tree. And the reason you do that is so that the tree can recover from the pruning. So yeah, those are the 2 most important things to know when you're pruning an Acer. You don't have to prune Acers at all, but sometimes people like to, shape the Acer so that it, I don't know, forms a particular shape, and sometimes people want to lift the leaf canopy like we do with this particular tree here, and it is possible to do if you do it in the dormant season. When I say we're pruning it today, that's because occasionally I need Richard's help. I have a bad shoulder, so sometimes I find it a little bit hard to do like the really tough jobs. We're going to be using, I'll show you what we're going to be using. Before I show you, you have to just forgive me for the state of one of these tools. I would recommend always looking after your tools. Anyway, so the first thing that we're going to be using is just a hand saw. So we have one of these hand saws. I can link it below if you want to know, but you can find tree saws quite easily in your garden centres or on the internet. And the other thing that we'll be using today are loppers. Now this is the one that I need to apologise for the state of this. It needs cleaning, and I mean, I think we sharpened it last year. It looks pretty sharp. We don't use it that often. So yeah, it's just very old. So if you've got a pair of loppers, that's quite handy for the thicker stems. Obviously, if your tree's a bit younger, you can just use secateurs. So, I would use just my Felco 2s, which are quite robust, and I'll use those for the smaller, twilly little branches that we trim off each year anyway. So what I'm going to do today is show you how to prune an Acer, and then I'll show you the finished result. And if you want to see what we did last year, I can link that in the description below, so do take a look. If you've got any questions, then please do comment and I'll get back to you. So when you're pruning an Acer, Actually, there's a third thing I need to tell you about when you're pruning an Acer. So the first thing is to do it when it's dormant. The second thing is to only prune a third. And the third thing is that where each where each branch joins a trunk, there's a tiny little swollen bit, and you don't want to cut into that little swollen area. It's probably got a botanical name, but I don't know what it is. So you cut just above that. And obviously, you know, best practice is to always cut on a slant so that rain doesn't sit on it. But that's about it. So I'll show you a close-up of how we do that and what I'm talking about. So what we're going to do first is discuss which branches we're going to take off today. Now I think that we should take off this branch here.
Okay.
So this is the swollen bit here, and you don't want to cut into that. So we're going to cut it here. So just beyond, don't cut the swollen bit there. We're going to cut this bit here. So then I think we want to cut the ones around the back. So these ones sticking out at the back here, they block basically you walking past here. So I think we need to take these off and just leave the bigger trunks. So I think we should take this one here and this one here that I'm crawling through. So we're going to take off these two here. Okay, so we've taken 3 branches off so far. I'm just going to have another look and make sure that we have cleared the area behind so that we can still walk behind there without having to really duck and dive below the canopy. And so we may take off one more branch. We'll have a look. So we're going to take off one final branch this year. There we go. So now we can still walk round this way, up onto the patio if we want to, without having to duck too much. So what it's done now is it's really exposed a lot of the trunk at the bottom, and now all I'm going to do is I'm going to trim some of these little spindly branches here just to clear up sort of below this line. So that's it, that's all it took. I think we took off 4 big branches in total, and then the rest were just spindly things. To be honest with you, those little tiny branches probably got hit by the frost or something, because a lot of them were just snapping off, so I think they were dead anyway. As I said, if you've got any questions, then do put them in the comments below and I will get back to you. And if you've enjoyed this video, then please do give it a like so that it tells YouTube to show it to other people, and then I would really appreciate that. If you want to see what this tree looks like in the coming months and throughout the years, then do subscribe to my channel, because I will be posting regular updates. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Can you even hear me? Where is my mic? I don't even know where my mic is. My mic's completely covered. I know. I'm such an amateur.